Hey you guys, it's me Gemstone from www.tarotforhealing.com. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is your monthly astrological reading for the month of June. This is for the Geminis. And so what I'm doing this month, which is slightly different because you guys know I always have to change it up month to month, is I've been connecting more with the spirit of my great grandma, and she used to read playing cards. So I decided to incorporate playing cards into this reading, and I've been really enjoying it. And I guess what you can expect to see from me on this channel is that I'm always going to be using different forms of divination, um, because I love learning different forms of divination, whether it's runes, playing cards, um, crystals, anything I can read that I love to use. And I'm going to be learning even more, and I guess as I learn even more, you guys will see all different ones. So yeah, just expect to see that. And but what I've done here is I've pulled four playing cards, and I'm going to tell you like with the message that's coming through with the cards, and then I'm going to get into your specific areas of your life. The specific areas of your life, I'm going to be pulling tarot cards. I'm going to be using the Tarot Illuminati this month. I really love that deck as well, and I'm finding that they work really nicely together, like the playing cards and then the Tarot Illuminati cards. And so the first playing card that showed up for you is the Three of Spades, the King of Diamonds, the Seven of Hearts, and the Three of Hearts. And so to me, looking at these cards, I feel like they're speaking of a relationship. I feel for some of you guys, it was a situation of heartbreak, of a relationship either separating, or a feeling of betrayal, feeling hurt by somebody else that you trusted. And with the King of Pentacles, it could be a case of maybe even through the heartbreak and stuff, maybe you wanted to still work out the situation, or maybe it's a case of that you had to kind of take responsibility for the part that you had to play in the breakdown of the relationship as well. But it kind of, to me, shows that you might not be completely over that situation, and it's almost like you might want to rebuild it. Um, because I think that for you, this was somebody that you felt like, okay, this could work. Like maybe we can work through this issue or this problem with. But then what I'm seeing is that things seem to be confused. Like maybe you and this person had this issue, but you don't really know how that person is feeling, or you don't really know what the cause behind it all was entirely. But there's some kind of thing that you're not really seeing the true situation basically. And I feel like you might be muddled up when it comes to your emotions, um even though you want to deal with the situation. I'm kind of getting there's a sense of confusion surrounding it as well. And this card could also speak of delusion and illusion as well. So it might even be a case of showing up next to the card, which I'll show you in a bit, that connects with your relationships as well. It's showing a similar message of a state of maybe of self delusion. So it's not like somebody else is deceiving you. Maybe you're just looking at the situation from a perspective that isn't realistic, or you're looking at the situation from a perspective that isn't really what is going on. So, but then, yeah, I'll get to all the rest of that when it shows up with the tarot card. But then the good thing is that even though there was that kind of drama and hiccup taking place in the beginning, it seems that somehow things become worked out, because you have the Three of Hearts afterwards. So somehow they're like, it turns into sort of a celebration. It turns into a more positive situation. Again, it's like where your feelings were kind of muddled up, and you had to kind of sort them out, organize them, or get them together, or look at things in a with a clearer perspective, or take off the rose colored spectacles. It could be as well with this card showing up. It's kind of showing that you are going to be seeing, you are going to be getting through that. So things are not going to be confusing anymore, or you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, where do I stand with this person, or where does our relationship stand, or whatever. It's like things will become clearer, and then it's gonna move into a better situation for all of you guys. That's like, in the in this relationship. Also what I was seeing here is, I don't know if for some of you guys maybe a relationship might have gone south, maybe because of somebody else's involvement as well. Because it kind of can look that way too. Um, but it's almost like what I'm seeing here is that the cards are saying that this is sort of a created situation. So the heartbreak was something that was created. Um, I can't really say if it was necessarily by you, but it was definitely created by, somebody had a hand in why this whole situation became messed up. But then it's like it's gonna be rectified. It's almost like the same way it got messed up, it's somehow the same way it's gonna later on be rectified. So it might be saying that you have the power to rectify things regardless of whether it had to really do with you or not. I feel like really is somehow you're going to feel a responsibility towards making things right. And but then at the same time, even though you want to make things right, it's saying that you have to deal, or may have had to deal with, some issues in terms of yourself deluding yourself, or not seeing the situation in its entirety, or maybe even with a bit of bias because you feel, because of an emotional connection that you have. Sometimes, I was saying this to another sign as well, is that sometimes our emotions can, even though they're really great, at the same time, because it sort of helps us to form relationships, it can also delude us as well. Like sometimes you can have somebody and they're not the best person for you, and they do hurt you, and they don't treat you the way you should be treated. But again, because there's this emotional tie between you and this other person, you can sort of maybe delude yourself into thinking that, okay, this is a better situation than what it is, or make excuses for that person and stuff like that. And this might be what you believe within yourself. And again, you're not seeing the situation is in its entirety. It doesn't mean that that's how it's going to be showing up for everyone, but I just wanted to kind of give you an example to sort of make it clearer, like what I'm trying to say. But again, I feel like that's going to be something that's going to pass, and then things are going to be able to get better once you are able to really see the situation for what it is. Okay, and the first card when it comes to your work situation is the Ace of Pentacles, which is a nice card for work and finances. It shows new work situations, new environments, new sources of income coming through for you. And I love the way this card looks. I love all the cards in this deck because they're just so vivid and bright and just beautiful. And so this card is also showing maybe even work opportunities that present itself out of the blue, or it could even be a case of I feel like there's a divine purpose to this work experience or this work opportunity that you get. Not to say that it's necessarily going to be in as like some kind of spiritual um uh practice or anything like that, like area of life, like you're going to be taking part in anything on a spiritual level, but it could just be a manifestation that you really wanted to create for yourself, and now it finally appears. I feel like, when it comes to looking at your cards, you're in a hard working mood. That's what I'm kind of getting with you, Geminis. It's like you're prepared to work hard for your relationships, and you're prepared to work hard in terms of the things that you want to manifest when it comes to your work and your money as well. And so that attitude, I feel like, can really take you far. So, and it's almost like you're approaching things from a more sort of serious attitude, with a more serious attitude as well. Probably, I think it's going to be more showing up when it comes to your work. The only thing is that it seems that in your relationship situation, that kind of had to be worked out, because again, like I was saying about that whole illusion, whatever, like it has to be worked out. But when it comes to your work and your finances, it's showing that things are really going to be improving for you. So, yes, your hard work will pay off when it comes to your work. When it comes to your relationships, those of you that are in relationships, that's why I was sort of saying that this card is really connecting to your playing cards, because you had the moon reversed. And the moon reversed can also, again, is a card speaking of sort of illusions, delusions, fears, and anxieties. And it's almost like it shows the more, I guess, scary side of the moon, and it also can talk about uncertainty as well. Both of those cards can be reflecting uncertainty when it comes to your emotions and your feelings. It also could be a time where you're feeling more sensitive emotionally as well. And what is really interesting is when I look at your cards and your readings, it's like you're really connecting with a kind of Pisces energy when it comes to your relationship. So I don't know if there's something going on astrologically or something. I'm gonna have to look into that to see how that actually is sort of forming together. But there is some kind of feeling that has like a Piscean energy, but it's not. It's sort of showing the sort of the less favorable side to that kind of energy, which again, like I said, is sort of the illusion sort of part of things. Um, but then because it is reversed, it's showing that this is a passing energy. So I don't feel like this is something that you it's either something that may have been taking place from May, and then in June it sort of starts to fade out. So that's sort of the progression where things begin to get better in June. But again, the good thing about it is that it's not an energy that is just there that you're gonna have to deal with. It's something that actually is going to be passing. So if that's what you're feeling right now, dealing with issues when it comes to relationships, it's saying don't worry, because it will get better. Um, and interestingly enough, for those of you that are single, you have the Prince of Swords. And what the Prince of Swords is kind of bringing up is, again, I feel like the Prince of Swords is moving forward with that sense of clarity, with a sense of understanding. Again, he has an agenda in terms of what he's trying to do and what he's trying to achieve, and he can be successful in that if he goes into it with a clear mind and doesn't let his emotions get the best of him. So again, it's talking about the clarity of mind being restored with you, Geminis. So again, I'm really feeling like you guys might be going through a bit of a test when it comes to your emotions, because you're gonna have to deal with some things that maybe might make you feel uncertain, and it might be very frustrating for you because you're not really used to dealing with like energies that make you feel sort of scattered, or that is kind of like this kind of up in the outward, what do I usually say? I'm trying to say it the right way. It's sort of a kind of energy that can lead you a bit out there with the fairies almost. Pisces can deal with that kind of energy because that's sort of what comes along with the territory for them. But for you, it's going to be a very different kind of energy, and it might be a bit frustrating for you. Um, it's interesting, but I'm kind of seeing this sort of theme that is kind of taking place. I haven't done Aquarius's reading yet, but I did the Libras just before this video, and they had a similar thing going through when it comes to emotions as well. So it's kind of seems to be this theme where I think the air signs are definitely having to deal with a lot in terms of their emotions and sorting them out somehow, like something really showing up in terms of relationships and their personal lives. And so what I'm kind of seeing for those of you that are single is that again, it's definitely following the theme of having a clear mind, being logical, being practical in terms of even a relationship, which sounds a bit weird because you're like, well, you know, does does that really fit in with a relationship? But I think that it does, because really, tarot readers and stuff are always speaking about balance all the time. Balance, balance, balance. And again, it is important to be in balance, because that is what can really see a relationship through. It can't be just all emotions, or it can't just be all, lust and desire, and there is no logic or reasoning involved. Because again, it's like sometimes the lust and desire and the emotions and stuff can almost trap you into a situation that again isn't always the best for you, because again there is no logic and there is no reasoning. So it's very important for us to sort of bring that all together, and then be able to sort of get what we want out of a relationship, and also be a good partner to the person that we're with, and have an understanding more about ourselves and how we fit in as a in a partnership. So yes, let's move on to your very last card, your spiritual card. I'm losing light here because it's quite a dull and dreary day outside, so I'm sorry that the video is like getting progressively darker, but because it is very early, but it's just very gray outside. But this is your spiritual card, and it's the Wheel of Fortune. So I like this in terms of your spiritual cards. It might even be connected with your working situation kind of cards. But what it's telling me is that you are going through some significant changes in terms of your internal self. What is going on with you? The universe is definitely trying to teach you some lessons, and it's trying to help you to become, I believe, more well-rounded person. We can't just depend on just one side of ourselves to sort of carry us through. We have to learn other things in order for us again to be more well-rounded. So I think that's why you're having to really go through lessons in terms of relationships and love and emotions. And again, it can prove to be a bit of a challenging situation because that's not really what you're used to having to deal with at times. But then it's sort of showing that these experiences are really going to be beneficial to you. And to me, these cards are really showing a shift that's going to be taking place as well. Sometimes the wheel of fortune, if you want to look at it in terms of a money or financial situation, it could be connecting with your ace of pentacles, showing that money and stuff might be becoming better for you. And so that might actually be even affecting you on an emotional level, because you might be feeling like, okay, things are kind of going my way a bit more. But then if I was to connect this with your sort of your relationships and stuff, again, it's showing that you're going through significant changes too. I think you're changing within yourself, and with you changing, I think you're changing more actually like this um king of diamonds. I think you're changing in terms of you know what you want in terms of going for something that is going to create stability in your life. You're prepared to work hard, you're prepared to be dedicated. Even if you have to go through the challenges, you're prepared to sort of get through them and get past them. And sort of the wheel of fortune is almost showing that with this kind of attitude that you have and this kind of moving forward that you're doing, it is making the wheel turn, maybe like more in your favor. So there, that's a really positive card for you in terms of your spiritual cards. So peace and blessings to all of you guys, Geminis. I'll see you. Bye.